Hello class, this is Tyler Nelson, or should I say Jack. Jack the Hound of Hell. Now then, before I get into saying who Jack the Hound of Hell truly is, let me begin by saying that I am a person probably like most of you who wrestle with questions of who we truly are, what our purpose is in society. And the answer, as I've been trying to wrestle and struggle with the answers to those questions, I've developed various personas and characters in my life to help me figure out who that is. Jack is one of these characters in which I've developed to help me answer these questions. He is, though, not the first character in which I've developed in answering these questions. The original persona which I've created and developed myself was a character by the name of Night Fighter, a white tiger anthropomorphic character with various superpowers essentially, who was inspired by various things in my life around that time. Most of this is more defined in a document I have attached following with this video. As I grew older and grew more mature, and as I continued to seek the answers to these questions, it wasn't until around high school that I began to truly grasp answers of who and what I was, and then answering those questions, that is how the character Jack the Hound of Hell arose. Now then, with that said, let me give you a little bit of background of the character Jack the Hound of Hell. Jack was a character that I developed in a long storyline, starting back around in 8th grade, going into high school, involving two families of demon hunter clans. Jack's father belonging to one of these demon hunter clans. Now, Jack's father was a character, one of the very few human characters that I developed, most of being which were anthropomorphic-based characters. Anyways, he was a character who had the spirit of a fox demon essentially trapped and sealed within him. And as his father got older and stuff, he could essentially sense he was losing control of the fox demon spirit within himself, and knew at any point he would essentially lose control of the spirit and get turned into a demon himself. And so, to avoid harming others, his father essentially left the human plane of existence and make a new life for himself within the plane of hell. And while there, his father fell in love with a female hyena demon, and the two essentially, despite their breeds and families disagreeing and stuff, kind of like Romeo and Juliet in a way. Actually, I was reading in high school at the time, so that's part of might have been one of the main reasons how this got inspired. Anyways, kind of left and essentially on their own and gave birth to their son Jack. Now, because Jack was a mixed breed between two kinds of canine breeds that essentially absolutely hated each other, Jack was viewed as a low-life mutt and everything. Essentially had to struggle every moment of his life to get and earn everything that he did, and essentially prove his superiority to other demons amongst his breed. He essentially entered a tournament, a fighting tournament, kind of like a UFC kind of thing in a way, to prove his dominance, and when he won that tournament, that is how he was bestowed the title the Hound of Hell. Because hellhounds were essentially the basic name given to demons of canine breeds within the universe that I created. That's why the Hound of Hell is more or less a title of superiority. The reason why I use Jack in a sense as the main persona since I was in high school up to the present is Jack is a character that's very complex in his ideas and views and his behavior. which essentially was to represent my more maturity at that point in my life, and still is. Jack is a character who usually behaves crazy and wild psychotic, but it's more or less he does that to elude how intelligent and smart he truly is, and that's kind of part of why I use the two animal concepts of a hyena and fox, and how they interlink and interfuse those together into a single character. It kind of, that's with most people. Everyone has various aspects to himself, as was mentioned in this unit. We all wear different hats. Sort of my drama says, we all have different costumes and masks that we use within this society. The simplicity that humanity used to have of just knowing who and what we are no longer exists. It's funny that here in America we have the motto, you can be whoever you want to be, which yes, technically one could say it's true, but as was mentioned in this unit, you have to do all the different criteria to meet those different roles and everything, which I very much agree with. Something that I've grasped and tried to struggle with most of my life, and that's why I found this unit so interesting, is it talks about and discusses various things that I've dealt with on a very personal level. And that is kind of what I'm going to say about that note. Before I sign off here real quick, I just want to show you a picture of Jack, the Hound of Hell, so you all can kind of get an idea of who my character Jack kind of actually looks like. I can get the camera to cooperate a little bit. There we are. This is kind of what he looks like. This is a picture I've gotten drawn of my character Jack at a convention that I went to. I got some other pictures, and I have a poem explaining him too. That is all the time I have to talk about Jack. Again, I have some pictures and documents explaining more about him. So, also, if you want to know more about me, Jack the Hound of Hell, feel free to send me messages and all that great stuff. And I look forward to talking to you guys all later. This is Jack the Hound of Hell, signing off. See you next unit.